coming up this weekend. Hokies are in the Super Regional for the very first time, chance to punch their ticket to get to Omaha. And we're now joined by Ryan Metz, who joins us from Blacksburg. And there he is. Ryan, first of all, good morning and congratulations, man. What a great season it's been for the Hokies.
Good morning. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been an awesome ride so far, and we're definitely excited to keep it going.
I can only imagine what it's going to be like this weekend. Here come the Sooners. You get a chance to host a Super Regional for the very first time. You guys only scored 46 runs in your 3 games in the regional. The ball looks like the size of a beach ball. Man, just the anticipation for what's coming up this week. What's it been like?
Oh, it's awesome. You know, being able to play at home in front of Hokie Nation and just the way they continue to show out, being in the comfort of our own park has been awesome, and we're excited to keep going.
Ryan, take us back to the weekend regional where it gets to what you hope is the final game, and you get handed the ball as a fifth-year senior, had only made 3 starts, just pitched 29 2/3 on the season, and your pitching coach and your head coach, Chef, hand you the ball. What were those conversations like pre-game, day before? When did you know you were going to get that start, and how'd you feel out there?
Yeah, I think I found out about an hour and a half, 2 hours before the game, so there wasn't a ton of time for the nerves to set in. But, you know, honestly, with the way the offense works and the way the night before had gone, we put up 24 runs. Kind of my thought was just go in and keep the game as close as possible until the offense has a chance to do what they do. And thankfully, we were able to do that, and Carson DeMartini came up with a big hit, I think in the 5th inning, and obviously went on to win it. But, yeah, it was really just keep them down as long as possible to let our offense work.
One of only 2 fifth-year seniors who are freshmen on Coach Chef's first Virginia Tech team. And you get that standing ovation as you're going off the field. I mean, when you committed, I don't even know if this was part of your dreams, the cliche, if your dreams went this far, but what was that moment like for you with that standing ovation, knowing that, yeah, we're probably going to win this regional?
Yeah, I mean, when I committed to Virginia Tech, we hadn't really done much in the past couple of years, and Coach Chef kind of came in, and I was actually recruited by the old staff, but when I got there, Coach Chef, I remember sitting in his office, and he was like, we're going to get it done here, and you guys are going to be the class that leads it. And I think we all kind of took that to heart and took that to follow Coach Chef and what he did at Maryland, and now we're doing here at Virginia Tech. And so it was an awesome moment, but it's really a team thing, and really just proud of the way the team has done what it's done, and we're looking forward to keeping it going.
Ryan, I've mentioned a couple times during the baseball season in reference to the Virginia Tech men's basketball program, which won the ACC championship. The basketball team got off to an 0-4 start in the league, and you're like, man, this team's too good to be messing around with a slow start. And at the end of the day, they're cutting down the nets in Brooklyn. You guys got off to a slow start. Same deal from a baseball perspective, getting swept by Georgia Tech to start the year. Now you find yourself red hot. It's kind of funny how the ebb and flow of a baseball season goes, isn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, getting swept by Georgia Tech at Georgia Tech, and I think we lost 2 of those 3 games in overtimes on walk-offs and extra innings, and you know that kind of stung a little bit. And this team kind of looked at what the basketball team did and just kind of put our head down and kept fighting. And I think that's been really encouraging for this team to look back on and know that we're never out of a game, and there's always grit, and it's just a matter of time. I think it's easy in the baseball season with how long it is to kind of put your head down and be like, it's not our day, we'll get them tomorrow. And this team really hasn't done that all year. It's always been a fight, and I think that's really encouraging for us in the postseason, that we're never out of a game.
Speaking of long, you had one of those games against Columbia. I don't know, that the game went 4.5 hours, and I think 3.5 hours were that 4th inning where you guys put up 14 runs in the 4th. As a pitcher who's not in the game at that point, and you're watching that happen, what's the feel that you're getting in the pen and watching this whole thing happen as you're looking at your watch going, how many crooked numbers are we putting up here?
Yeah, I mean, it just kept going, and we just, I think, kept getting more and more excited. And like I said, Hokie Nation had absolutely showed out, and they were loving it. It was awesome.
All right, so with that said, I mean, I'm married to a Hokie. I know about the passionate fan base. Listen, winning a national championship has been on the to-do list for every Virginia Tech team from day one. Do you catch yourself daydreaming a little bit, or is it, hey, we got to worry about Oklahoma and Friday, and that's the only thing that matters? But do you catch yourself thinking, man, we are so close to getting to Omaha?
Yeah, and all the time daydreaming. But it, kind of forces us to take a step back and just take it one game at a time. And I think Coach Sheff does a really good job of harping about that for us, of stay in the moment, take one game at a time. We're focused on today's practice, and then we'll focus on tomorrow's practice. And he's really, really good at that.
You mentioned Sheff there, who did some great things at Maryland as well. Broke a long 40-plus year NCAA tournament drought with Maryland. They get to a super regional years ago. Comes over here, Virginia Tech. Now he's getting this team to a super regional. I mean, lightning can strike once, but twice is really hard to do, and he's doing it here. You're with him on a daily basis. What is it about Coach Sheff that has made this program so successful?
Well, baseball can be such a up and down game. There's the highs, there's the lows, like I mentioned, getting swept, but then also us doing the sweeping. And so one of the things that he does so well is he's the same person every single day. We always know what we're going to get. And he really instills that in us, too, to not let the highs be too high and the lows be too low. And it just preaches consistency, and I think that's what this team's been able to do so well.
Ryan, what do you know about Oklahoma?
I know they knocked us out of the 2013 regional and ended that season. And we keep that at the forefront of our mind, too.
Hold on a second. That was 9 years ago, okay? I mean, that's 2013. So were you a fan at that point, or is Sheff bringing this up? Like, what's going on here?
I was not a fan of 2013. I didn't really know much about Virginia Tech until I started getting recruited. But we faced them my freshman year in 2017. Okay. I think we won that game, but we're excited to be able to go at them again.
Yeah, but so what do you know about them other than the fact that 2013, you're like, okay, that's a little motivating rah-rah. But what do you really know about this lineup?
Not a ton yet, but honestly, I think it more matters about us. We give the opponent we're facing respect, but not too much. It's all about us, to be honest.
Virginia Tech, and you mentioned about you, 313 batting average for this team, which is top 10 nationally. This lineup, there just aren't a lot of breaks, and I don't know if it's like basketball, but facing them in practice when you're doing some live sessions, what is it about this lineup, and specifically a couple of guys in particular, and Schobel and Cross, that just continue to rake there in the postseason?
Well, I think it starts with just being a selfless offense. Is they don't care who gets the credit. But then not to mention, too, that they just have such good at-bats, such good eyes. They talk to each other so well about what the opposing pitcher is trying to do. They just can beat you in so many different ways, whether it's slugging home runs or bunt game, drawing walks when they need to. They're so dangerous and so tough to pitch to. I think I joked with Gavin when the season first started. I said, man, I'm glad I never have to face you again.
By the way, speaking of joking, baseball, to me, baseball's always got characters. Like, you pick a team, there's always a jokester, there's a prankster. And with that said, on this Hokie team, who would you put on the top of that list on this roster?
Man,
from a pranking standpoint.
We're a very loose team, I would say, and so it's always a lot of fun. I think I got to give the edge to Sean Fisher, though. That dude's so funny.
All right, so give me for instance. Give me something he pulled on somebody who went, man, that's our guy.
Well, in the last game, they brought a whiteboard to the field for that regional final game, and I was pitching, so I didn't see much of what they were writing until after the fact. But when I came out, I saw what he was writing on the whiteboard, and I mean, just funny. I mean, just guys that make you laugh. Keep it loose.
So you're saying this is not for air, is what you're telling me?
No, they were showing it to the fans and having fun with the fans. But I don't remember a specific instance. But they just always find ways to keep everybody entertained.
And in staying loose in a sport like baseball, where things can be squeezed a little tight, especially in the NCAA tournament, you get to the regionals, you're expected to win, you're a top 5 seed, and now you're going to the supers. How does this team do it, and how important is that this time of year to just try and stay loose in a sport that is so mental?
Well, I think, to be honest, one of the things that we've done really well and this team has kind of embraced is where our identity lies, and seeing that our identity is not necessarily in who we are as baseball players, but as brothers, and to just continue to love one another so well. We came together early in the season and were willing to look at each other as more than just baseball players and what you can contribute to on the field. And I think that's really helped this team to stay together so well, and that's a big key to our success, I would say.
Was there a moment, and what was it this year, where you realized, whether it was practice or in a game earlier in the season, where you said, you know what, this team has the makings of something that could be very, very special?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, it wasn't at the field, it was off the field. I think we were at a Bible study together, and so many guys had shown up, and we were just kind of sitting around talking, and it was like, this group just has the camaraderie of a different camaraderie of any team that I've ever been a part of. And it just felt like a winning culture because of the way we loved each other so well. And we're just so for each other. Like I mentioned, like, we don't care who gets the credit. And so that was an awesome part that I think we kind of looked around and we're like, nah, this team's different.
Ryan, it's been a special spring in Blacksburg. I mean, the softball program had an incredible year, even though I know they were disappointed with what happened in the NCAAs. And here are you guys on the cusp of getting to Omaha if you could win this series. What would it mean to Virginia Tech fans and to your baseball team and the community if you guys made it to Omaha?
I don't know if there's really words. I think we're excited for that prospect. We're, understand that we're only 2 games away, but we got 2 big games in front of us with Oklahoma. And so, I think it would mean absolutely everything to this community. But, unfortunately, like the softball team ran into a good team with Florida, and we know that we got a good team coming in too with Oklahoma, and we're not going to overlook them.
All right. Well, listen, before we let you go, since you're making your debut with us, I got to ask you the question. Since you've been at Virginia Tech, what's been your hardest class?
Ooh, okay. My hardest class, I would say, was a class I took this past year called Spacecraft Propulsion.
Okay, hold on a second.
You got that,
Did you say, is it spacecraft propulsion?
Yes, sir.
Propulsion. Okay. Yeah. What's your major?
I'm mechanical engineering with a focus in aerospace.
Okay. All right. So it wasn't an elective. All right. Let me just try this thing out. All right.
It's like you pulling out of the driveway here in about 45 minutes.
That's right. Propulsion out of here. What do you want to do? Like what's the end goal if it's not baseball?
I've actually accepted a job with Northrop Grumman, a contractor for NASA, working on rockets.
Whoa.
Nice.
Hold on a second.
That's a different level in every sense of the word.
How often do you use the joke, come on, it's just baseball, it's not rocket science? Like, how much do you use that here in baseball?
I've had that thrown at me a couple times, yes.
So just throw strikes, man.
That's it. Hey, listen, congratulations on all your success, both on the field and off of it, and rooting for you guys this weekend. Again, it's going to be an incredible scene, and good luck, man. Look forward to seeing you guys rolling in Omaha. It'll be some kind of story.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
You got Ryan Metz taking care of business for the Hokies. How about that story?
So